Hello everyone and welcome. It's Coffee with Ceri. Hi everyone, coffee time again. Mind you, it's swelteringly hot here today, so while I'm drinking coffee, I don't know, maybe I should go to iced coffee. I like iced coffee, I haven't thought about that one. Today's topic, actually before I do that, if you've not seen a Coffee with Ceri before, this is just me sitting down with a cup of coffee, sharing my take on the world. I'll choose a subject, and it's my opinion only. If you don't like it, then all I can say is then this is not the right video for you. Please move along. I can be right, I can be wrong, I can be opinionated, but you know what, we all have a right to an opinion. I just don't mean to offend anyone. So anyway, there you go. So coffee time. So what is today's topic? Today's topic is something I've just been through over the last couple of months, and that is purging. And I'm specifically talking about areas you live within or you create within. Like I have an area that I built onto the back of my house where I create all my cake projects, because obviously I'm an internationally recognized cake decorator and designer, and I have my cake area. I also have this area that I'm sat in, which is my craft cave, as I call it, which is where I do all my paper crafting, my clay crafting, my sewing projects, my journaling. It's also where I keep my desk for my office. So a creative space. So, and it could be your attic, it could be your living room, could be your dining room, could be your kitchen. Purge it. Go through it occasionally, because when did you last do that? When did you go through things? I mean, I've recently just gone through this craft room because I've had a big makeover done here. It's something that's been in the offing for years. And when I went through all my boxes, my sealed boxes and my storage drawers and everything, the things I found that I didn't actually realise I still had. A couple of things happened. I found I had 2 or 3 of the same item, whereas I hadn't remembered I'd bought it in the first place. And then I bought something again. And funnily enough, I must have been about a year later, I must have bought the same thing again. Obviously, I like that product, but I didn't need to have bought it because I didn't know I had it anymore. It was shoved into a drawer, it was shoved into a box. I hadn't visited it. I didn't realise I still had it. Also, I found a lot of products. I went, ooh, I'd forgotten about that. And it sparked a whole new line of creativity, a whole new list of things I wanted to do with it, which were different from the things I did the first time. So I found myself keeping a little notepad, and I would write down ideas as per the product I found, because I went, you know, one of the hardest things being in the creative industry is finding things to do that are creative, because you can spend so much time procrastinating and sitting there going, what shall I do? What shall I do? What shall I do? What do? Nothing. You never get to the point where you get creative because you're trying to find something to be creative about. Pick one product, see what you can do with it. Pick up a pile of paper and some colouring pencils, have a go. Pick up a tube of buttercream and just pipe something. Pick up some modelling clay, just model something. Doesn't matter if it's awful. You've done the journey, you've done the process. I always say, if something isn't right at the end, there are 2 important things about that. Firstly, the journey you've been on is more important than the end product. And if you don't like the end product, guess what? You've learnt a lot of lessons along the way that you won't hopefully repeat. So it's like, for example, my cake area. Now, we've been in lockdown and we've been under this influence of the pandemic and the virus for a considerable amount of time. So I haven't actually been able to teach workshops or classes. So I have boxes of my classroom setup equipment down there. And if you ask me, I now couldn't tell you what is in those boxes. I used to know to the last toothpick what was in those boxes. I now need to go through them, find out what's relevant. Are there things in my cake room who have gone past their sell-by date? Are there food colours? Are there pastes? Are there chocolate? Is there anything that I can no longer use because, you know what, I haven't checked the date on them? So I need to do that. So that's the next big purge in my life. But purging my craft room, I did get rid of a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff went to charity shops. A lot of stuff I passed on to other crafters who may not be as fortunate as I am and couldn't actually afford to do what I had just sitting in boxes. So I made up a few envelopes and little boxes of what we call Happy Mail, and they got mailed out to people who actually use them. I passed things on. I've got a few friends who've got young children. And what I did was, I know they enjoy creating stuff, and when Uncle Kerry comes to visit, we have craft time with Kerry. We sit down and we'll get messy with paint, and usually it's very messy with paint. But you know, it's that whole enjoyment of creativity and watching their little faces light up. So put little bundles together and go, okay, here's a box of goodies. What can we make with these? So I passed them on. Instead of just putting them in the trash can, they went to someone else who thought they were treasures, and I thought they were trash. Go figure. However, you can do a purge on any room in your house. Like one area that really needs a look in my house, and we've done a little bit on it, but my sister and I need to coordinate getting some time together. We need to purge the kitchen. I don't believe the kitchen has been purged in about 2.5 years since my mother passed away, and I don't know how many things in that kitchen are there just because they've always been there, or there's some emotional tie to something that we're like, Mum put that there, we don't want to touch it. And there is a certain value to respecting that. However, there's also a practicality to a kitchen being a working, living space that you need to be in every day. So I know that about a year after Mum's passing, I did reorganise the cupboards, because being OCD, it didn't make sense where things were. So simple things like I put the tea and the coffee and the milk and the sugar and everything for making drinks is now near the stove where the kettle is. I moved all of the plates and dishes and cups and saucers and chinaware, went to the cupboard next to the sink and the draining board, because you wash it up, you let it dry, you put it by. It made sense to me. We also sorted out the food cupboards, because although my sister and I cohabit in our home because we both own it and we both lead independent lives and support ourselves, so my sister has a dedicated food cupboard and I have a dedicated food cupboard, because our tastes in food are incredibly different. I mean, I used to be a chef. I cook. I like making meals from scratch. My sister doesn't cook a lot, so her requirements for ingredients is a lot less than mine. So just simple things like that. But how many of us have got that kitchen drawer that's stuffed to the gills with old batteries, candles, postage stamps, old batteries, rubber bands, those useful envelopes that are prepaid that you're probably never going to use anyway, notepads. There's always a box of receipts that you don't know what the receipts were for anyway. In our kitchen, we've got a box that have got all of the manuals or pamphlets that come with every piece of equipment we ever buy. For goodness knows, we have to keep it. No one's ever read them. They've sat there collecting dust. Usually the warranty is in the same packet, and usually the warranty is only for about a year or 2 years, and the item is at least 10 years old, and we're like, well, why we kept the paperwork? We can't even get spare parts for that anymore. So those sort of things. Another one that's on my list of things to do too is in the living room where the TV is and the DVD player. I cannot remember when we last watched a DVD. With all of the streaming out there now and all of the number of TV channels out there, you can find anything. I no longer need a DVD. I no longer need a disc player. And I think I would much rather download the version to my iPad or my computer and watch it there with some headphones in and get completely immersed in what I'm watching than watch it on my television where there's ambient noise like the dog barking or people walking in the street outside or an aeroplane over the top, which take away from the whole immersion in watching whatever you're watching. So I think the DVD collection needs to be sorted out. Also, I have books. Do I have books? I have books upon books upon. I love my books. However, I have so many books, and there are so many books that haven't been opened for years, that that's another area that needs purging. And the books I'm talking about are like coffee table books or instructional books or books that carry useful knowledge. So they won't be a charity shop dump, I can absolutely assure you. The next time maybe I do a cake show, I might actually take a table at the show myself and do like a rummage sort of situation for books, because I've got instructional books and instructions never go out of date. And some of the older books are absolutely gems. They're diamonds of instructions before we had the cutters and the molds and the blending tools and all of that lot. And it was back when you had to be really ingenious to be creative. And those are the sort of books I'm talking about. And I think they're gold mines of information. Who's someone out there who's just starting out on a creative journey would absolutely be a sponge for that knowledge. So I think I'm going to have a big purge, and those will have to go there. So anyway, as I'm saying, time to purge. What was something I did recently? Okay, yesterday, actually, no word of a lie, yesterday, I went through my entire bedroom and tried on nearly every item of clothing I had to see whether A, it fits, B, is it still comfortable, C, do I really need it anymore? I made up 2 big bags, went to my local charity shop so they can sell them to raise money for cancer, because that was the one I chose to use because of obviously Mum passed away with cancer. And purging all of the clothing and that, I mean, there were things in that I'd forgotten that actually. I was like, wait, I've got a dinner jacket. I know I had a tux, I didn't know I had a dinner jacket. And how many coats does one person need? I had 5 coats. One of them didn't actually fit me anymore. One of them was a coat I bought when I was living in Australia, and I think I've only ever worn it once. Yes, it fits me, but I can't actually breathe in it. It's beautiful. It was this deep blue wool pea coat, and I absolutely adore the coat. But it was always a bit of a snug fit in the first place. I think when I bought it, they only had the one size. I mean, I'm going to wear this. Well, that's probably about 20, 25 years ago. One does gain a little bit of weight as one goes older. So, or muscle mass. Let's call it muscle mass, shall we? So yes, it felt good to purge. I got rid of all of the stuff in the room that I didn't use, and looked around and went, you know what, that's really nice. My clothes, I now have space. If I do see something new, I can almost treat myself and go, you know what, Ceri, it's okay. Buy an extra couple of t-shirts. Could do with another pair of trousers. Oops, we're only down to 2 coats. Maybe I need to buy another coat when the winter comes. Let's keep an eye open now and look round in the sales. So anyway, I think that's it for this time. So I will see you next time, guys. Enjoy the chats, look after yourselves, and do consider, even if you don't do a whole room, maybe look at that drawer in the kitchen. Have a go through that. I bet you can get rid of half the stuff in that drawer because it's just been dumped there. And maybe look at that DVD collection too. And the DVDs, by the way, yes, you can put them into a charity shop, but don't forget, there are apps that you can get where you can scan the barcodes and they'll send you a box and you can mail them to them, and you'll get some cash back for them. You will never get the value that they were before, but you know what? Maybe the few quid you do get back might go into a goodie jar that you can treat the kids with something at some point, or goes towards the summer holiday, or goes toward buying a new coat. So have fun, guys. I will see you next time. Bye bye now.